We here? Yeah. Let's get straight to it. It's Friday. I intend on being brief so you can get to your weekend. I'm right back at you like I never left, and I'm gonna go this hard to my last breath. It's Lil Kenny Russell, Kanoom, Consul, Moon. You already know what you're gonna give me. Step in this room, you're now dealing with Kanoom. Yeah, I'm here. And while I'm here, I'm gonna make the information direct and clear because a lot of y'all can't hear. Yeah. Now, welcome back to Make My Ancestors Great Again. This is another episode of My Thoughts. This is My Thoughts 203. And as the title states, Jesus' conclusion on my thoughts. Okay. So, I got 300 up there. Okay. 303. I did 300 my thoughts. All right. Anyhow, all week we were dealing with Jesus, and I'm just going to give my conclusion of this mythological character who people has deemed historical now, and they believe that this is real. So far, everything aforementioned on these programs that's titled Jesus, it's all been biblical stories. They're all scriptures. Everything's been based on scripture. And I've been showing you that the thing that the scriptures present is totally different from this Jesus presenting himself to the world as this all-knowing, all-seeing, all-powerful deity and or God. Okay, we're going to continue down that line, and I'm going to conclude today showing you that Jesus is nothing but a mythological character. The Bible itself is mythology. Okay, the Bible is a book that one has to believe in, based on oral tradition, allegory, mythology, fiction, and flat out lies. Okay, let's listen to the ancestors and we'll get straight to it. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I thank you for watching.
One thing you have to get through your mind and keep it. Nothing that ever came from the European mind was meant to do anything but facilitate European domination of the world. And I said there's no exception.
I said there's no exception. Okay. Let's look at some scriptures. Okay. That's all I'm going to show you guys. And this is all the scriptures of the Bible. This is nothing I made up. This is nothing I'm projecting to the world that's falsehoods or falsified material. This is the King James Bible. Okay. Now, this Jesus the Christ said a lot of things that people believed was prophetic. And when you give a prophecy, what people waits on or they intend on having is the fulfillment of prophecy. Okay, what am I saying? If I say, hey, that helicopter that comes up above my house all the time, it's going to crash Monday the 29th, whatever that may be, whatever year I'm just speaking. Monday the 29th, people should be expecting that helicopter to fall. That's a prophecy I gave. When it does not happen, you can go ahead and determine that that was a false prophecy. Same thing with Jesus. He's not above reproach. Nobody's above reproach when you're giving out prophecies. Okay. I brought these things up before in a polemic with just people just talking, barbershopping, if you will, discussing religion. And I said, a lot of people rose before Jesus. A lot of people rose from the dead before Jesus. You hear me? Lazarus, they had Elijah, a Shulamite woman. Elijah threw a child in the grave and he jumped out or whatever, things, all this type of stuff. There's numerous accounts of people who rose from the dead. The argument was they didn't rise from the dead. Somebody helped them and aided them to rising from the dead, which was God or whatever the case may be. So they said no one ever rose himself from the dead except Jesus the Christ. That's why it's so miraculous. You hear me? I'm going to prove to you that that's wrong today. Like everything else I've been doing. Let's continue, okay? The scriptures here says this. And when you go to Matthew 12:40, and it's Jesus the Christ said, just as Jonah was in the belly of the beast for 3 days and 3 nights. He's talking about when Jonah was swallowed by this whale or a great fish, however you want to cut it. He said he will be in the belly of the beast, the earth, for 3 days and 3 nights. Now, that's not even a prophecy. That's false. Jesus was never buried. And he never died for 3 days and 3 nights. I'm going to show you all that. Okay. Without a doubt, using the scriptures, not twisting them, showing you basically what the scripture says. Don't add nothing. Don't take it away. Only thing I do is tend to make them humorous, and I put them in layman's terms. And I don't when I paraphrase instead of doing verbatim. Sometimes I quote it. I'd use verbatim. Sometimes I paraphrase. Other than that, I don't add or take away. I just I attempt to make it humorous. Let's continue. Okay. The first verse is simple. John 2:19 says this. Jesus answered and said unto them, destroy this temple, and in 3 days he said, I will raise it up. That's how the story goes. Now, Jesus said he will raise himself from the dead. And that's the story we was all taught. Let's continue. Okay. The next scripture, Acts 13:29 says, and when they had fulfilled all that was written of him, they took him down from the tree, laid him in a sepulchre. But God, do you see that? But God raised him from the dead. So Jesus didn't do anything. No man has ever raised himself up from the dead. This is the argument. And neither did Jesus. So nothing miraculous took place. This is all mythology anyway. We're just discussing it for the sake of the literature. This says, but God raised him from the dead. So that cuts what Jesus just said out in Matthew 12:40. And as I mentioned, the verse I just read you, John 2:19, Jesus answered and said unto them, destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up. You go here, the scripture before you, Acts 13:29 says, but God raised him up, not Jesus. Let's continue, African people. They just tell you stuff and they don't expect you to know biblical or have biblical knowledge or biblical literacy. Let's get to the burial of Jesus. Remember, I keep quoting Matthew 12:40 because he said, in 3 days and 3 nights, he will raise from the dead. It's not true. Everything he's talking about is false. It's falsehood. It never happened. Not in human being history. So if it didn't happen in human being history, it doesn't even coincide in mythology. He didn't even stick to his mythological prophecy. It didn't even become fulfilled in religious prophecy, biblical prophecy. It's not even true in the Bible. So how would we die and scream and holler that it's true when the Bible states that it didn't even happen the way he gave a biblical prophecy? It's not even filled in the biblical literature. Let's look at what I'm talking about. The burial of Jesus. This all happened on a Friday. This all happened. They're talking about the death, the crucifixion, the torture, the brutal death of Jesus the Christ. Okay, this all happened on a Friday. Day of preparation, the day before the Sabbath. Now, anybody with any brains know that the Sabbath is on Saturday. Okay. As evening approached, and you can read the rest, Joseph of Arimathea asked, could he take the body down? That's all we're talking about. But I'm showing you this to let you understand. Jesus' death took place Friday, and he died somewhere Friday night, late night. Okay. Keep that in mind. Go to Mark 16:9. He got murdered Friday night, late in the night. Okay. After Jesus rose from the dead, early on Sunday morning. That's peculiar. He died Friday night, late night. This man was only dead for a matter of 20-something hours. He died Friday night. Early Sunday morning. This is 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning. The sun wasn't even up yet. You can go read the scriptures that coincide with this, and you'll see when Mary Magdalene went to that sepulcher, the sun wasn't even out yet. This was 3, 4 in the morning. So this man died Friday night and jumped his ass out of the grave Sunday morning. So think about it. Friday night, okay, let's just say Saturday was the start of the 3-day count. He was only dead for Saturday, because Sunday morning, After a full 24 hours, the man already jumped up out his grave. This is how the story goes. Now, I'm not twisting it. I'm reading you scripture, okay? After Jesus rose from the dead early on Sunday morning, the first person who saw him was Mary Magdalene, the woman from who he had cast out 7 demons. That's how the story goes now. So the man jumped up out his grave after Friday night. He was only dead for a complete day, which is Saturday. But something happened Sunday morning. I just read it. The man jumped up out of the grave and already rose from the dead in one day. One day and some hours, if you want to be critical about it. So roughly 20-something hours. The biblical prophecy that he stated was 3 days and 3 nights. So this is a lie. This Jesus the Christ is a lie. This is all mythological. The Bible is a flat out lie. Like I told you, it's based on oral tradition, allegory, mythology, and fiction, and flat out goddamn lies. That's what I presented to you. And all this Jesus, everything titled Jesus this week, I showed and concluded it's mythology, but the mythology doesn't even coincide with this mythological biblical character. It's all out of order. The sooner you understand, the sooner you can put this in the garbage can, and you can put Jesus in the garbage can with them. That's my thoughts on all this. It's Lil Kenny Russell, Kanoom, Consul Moon. You already know what you're going to get when you step in this room. You're now dealing with Kanoom. This is what I do, and I love to do it. And before I take back what I said, I add some more to it. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and I thank you for watching. Thank you guys for all the subscriptions, the likes. I do a lot of humorous and funny videos. I'm just trying to get my subscriber base up to 1,000. And again, I thank you for the comments, the dislikeful comments, the distasteful comments. A lot of times, if you don't see your comment and you said something distasteful, YouTube hides it from me. So I don't let it ride. I just kick it out. Okay. So be respectful in the comment section. I say hi or whatever to everybody. I thank everybody for watching. I respond to every comment unless I didn't see it. So it's nothing personal. Enjoy your weekend. See you guys Monday. Education and preparation is the first step to retaliation. So before you pick up a weapon or silly religion such as this, pick up some knowledge. If anybody's offended by anything you heard, I mean every word. Yeah. See y'all next week. Enjoy your weekend.